Good evening. This is the video newsletter for Buy Sell Short for Thursday, December 2nd. Santa Rally off to a great start over the last two sessions. We are starting off today looking at the chart of the US dollar. And did we ever call this perfect or what 2 days ago? You recall in the chat room, if you were in there, or in the video that I did on Tuesday night, that I said the dollar very likely was topped and to expect it to reverse course, and that would give us lots of ammunition for the market. You know, we had that early week sell-off, and the action that we saw in the market on Tuesday, like I said, was not indicative of a market that was going to break down, and it was actually telling us that a lot of speculative money was coming into the market and we were ready for a move. Now, did I expect the market to run 350 points over the last two sessions? No, at least not within two sessions, but I did expect a big move. And thanks to the dollar, that's what we had. Today was really interesting in pre-market. Futures were all over the place. We had a better than expected jobs report, but then we had Trichet, the head of the ECB, the European Central Bank. He came out in a speech this morning and sort of, yesterday we rallied because the same clown came out and said the ECB is going to be looking at doing QE2 for Europe, and the market romped on that news. The euro had a big rally, and of course the dollar sold off. Today he came out and sort of backstepped those comments, and we had the futures up big, then down big. Nice little shake after the open, and then, you know, things passed. You know, the euro continued to rally. Traders just viewed Trichet's comments as more as his same old BS, and that we are indeed going to get a QE2 out of Europe. And off to the races we went again. And all those shorts who got trapped on that dip below 11K have just gotten bent over, just annihilated over the last couple of days. I had a lot of traders asking me, hey, you know, the market's under 11K. Why aren't you shorting? The last 2 days action is exactly why we are not shorting. Well, we're shorting crappy plays like ICGN, which I'll do a video on this weekend explaining our strategy on that one. But shorting the overall market with a downside bias, bad mistake right now. You know, we've got so many positive cyclical trends going on for this market right now. I mean, I keep harping on them over and over. Most important being, you know, we've got the midterm elections indicator. 100% accurate, 8.5% average gain 90 days after the midterm elections. And, you know, we're starting to see that action right now. Looking at the Dow 15-minute chart, you can see finally we had a golden cross that worked and held. We had that cross around 11,225. Look what the gain was, 150 points. You know, we had these two so-so failures, but even if you jumped in long on the market a couple of days ago on these golden crosses, you still got your 150-point upside move on the final third golden cross that worked. You know, we are overbought in the near term on the market, but, you know, we could continue to go higher. Overbought can get more overbought. And actually, if we do see the major indices sort of pull back a little, that's actually a good thing because we'll see the money flow downhill to the small cap stocks, and that's where we're positioned right now. Looking at the daily chart, rectangle formation, the breakout has happened to the upside. We got that little trap move to get all the bears and shorts in, and now we've just gone kaboom. Eyes now on that 11,451 top, and I fully believe we are going to see new highs before the end of this month. We've got positive, scroll down here, positive MACD cross about to occur on the Dow daily chart, and every time we've had that, we've got a fat little move, especially when we've got some really red money flow. Positive ADX cross, stochastics up through 50, looking really, really good. SMH continues to be the leader in this market. And let's just scroll down a little. Since our buy call back there in late August, the SMH is now up 33%. How is that a return over 2 months in a large cap ETF? Just fantastic. We continue to ride the wedge higher. 20-day exponentialist support. As I mentioned in the Tuesday video, looking out 3 to 6 months, we've got $36 and $38 as our targets on the SMH. Let's jump into stock plays, though. CBRX. This was our trading alert yesterday. I've been mentioning it over the last few days. This is a play similar to Amarin. They've got results on their phase 3 preterm drug due any day. Could be any time this month per the earnings report back in November 4th. Volume over the last couple of days has exploded to the upside, and this tells us that the funds are moving in and they expect very nice news. Late in the day, we saw CBRX bust out, traded as high as $1.42. After hours, the stock was trading at 148 to 152. So we have a breakout on this chart right now. If it dips under a 140, I would be looking to accumulate a scalp position on this one. Breakout today also coincided with the positive MACD cross, and the indicators are a go on this one. We actually have to go out a couple of years on the CBRX chart just to get our next resistance level here. We're looking at 159, 170, and 2 plus, depending on the news that comes. Look what Amarin did going into its report. It went up about 25% and then went up another 50% on the trial data. Similar situation, very, very possible on this stock. CNXT, Cognizant Systems, very nice chart. These are the kind of charts that are going to do very, very well in this phase of the market. Beaten down, tech stocks, nice bottomed out charts, reversals. Traders are starting to rush into plays like this. We got to break through that 140 level, peek through the 143 level, the 20-day exponential. We are looking for a move to the 50-day moving average, 156, with stops at $1.35. Any dips under $1.40, I would be considering adding to positions. We're about to get a positive RX or RSI cross over 50. Stochastics is up through the 50 level, and this one just looks very, very nice for the near term. One of our other plays from last Wednesday, so a week ago, was ICAN, IKAN, and it surely did. It can and it did. 106 was our target entry on this one. We were looking for $1.25, hit $1.29 today. 20% gain in 7 days, not too bad. But as you can notice here on the chart, beaten down stock, nice little bottom, and then zoop, boom, it goes. That is what we're looking at on a lot of these plays. JSDA, this is Jones Soda. We played it about 3 weeks ago into its earnings report. Earnings report, nothing to really write home about. But since the earnings report sell-off, over the last couple of weeks, even with the market sell-off, very, very stable. And you can see it break down, coiling for a breakout, which is why we jumped into this one today at $1.15. RSI about to break 50. Positive MACD cross should occur tomorrow. Every time we've seen that, we've got a fat little spike on a positive ADX cross, and stochastics triggering a buy signal for us. So looking very, very good for a move back to that 125 plus area in the near term, with very strong support at the uptrend now at $1.10. MCZ, monster. Let's go back to the daily view on this one. This is a stock now that is, as of today, a 100% winner for us over the last month and a half. Can't argue with that. We got a breakout, another big move, consolidation over the last few days, broke the previous high of 83 cents and off to the races. Now, the reason I was pulling up that 3-year chart, because we're at multi-year highs right now. 3-year chart, actually 4-year chart, right now on this break over that major resistance at 81 cents. We're looking at 120 plus as our next target on this one. Would be adding dips on it. Gamer stock's doing fantastic. This one is mega cheap compared to its peers. And off to the races. We should be looking at this one in the ones, possibly tomorrow, but definitely next week, in my opinion. OPXT, huge volume over the last 2 days. Fundies are starting to come back into this one. And look at the chart pattern. Just like the other ones I mentioned, sell-off over the last month or so, nice bottoming action, and off to the races it goes. Optical stocks are back in focus again. The reason being, Finisar, FNSR, very nice report. Stock up big over the last couple of days. Its peers, API, which is another long-term play we'd called earlier this year and is now up, 75%. That was up 30% today. OPXT, same segment of the market. 150 lights this baby up. RSI breaking up through 50. We got a positive MACD cross. Check out the on-balance volume. Look at them rush back into this play. Looking really, really good. Sirius. Keep an eye on this one over the next few days. RSI is flatline. We've got a nice little pennant here. It's coiling between its 20-day exponential as resistance and 50-day moving average as support. Positive MACD cross, probably sometime next week. Or what you probably want to put a trigger on here is a volume explosion. Volume over 100 million shares on this one over the next few days would be a signal to jump into Sirius for its next move up. We've got our stochastics now saying keep an eye on this one. It's about to run. Breakout would be a move to 155 plus on this one, so keep a really close eye on it. SSN, this was one of our oil plays we jumped into yesterday. Chart looks really good. Trades on Scamex though. Lot of volume over the last week, and it's been in a pretty tight trading range. If you're not in this one, you probably want to wait for a close or a move above $125. Over the 125 area, it has no resistance, and this buying that's been going on recently will likely lead to a really big move. Stops, $115 would be your stops on this one. Other than that, we're just waiting for the specialist to let it run. CXM, they had news today, had a little bit of selling, but the news is immaterial. They got an extension to August, I believe, of next year, so there's no delisting risk on this one right now. And if we see the bios come back into action over the next couple of days in small caps, it'll get a snap back to the 50-cent area. CYTR, we got that breakout. We had news, spiked to $110 and then sort of faded out. Tough call on this one. If you need your money for other plays, you can move on and wait for the golden cross to happen here to confirm. Or you can sit on it with stops at $1.03 and targets 115 to 120 here. Almost forgot my favorite stock, NEI. We got a nice little spike on the market yesterday. Sort of treaded water for most of the day today. Love this setup. This is the kind of stock that's going to do very, very well in the near term, in my opinion. I'm thinking big move over the next day or two, definitely next week if we don't see it tomorrow. Just a matter of patiently sitting on this one and using the dips to add. So going into tomorrow, CBRX looks like it's going to make us some very happy traders tomorrow just based on what it's doing in after hours trading. CNXT looks really, really good, especially on the action in its sector right now. JSDA, nice little bouncer chart. And then, of course, MCZ, off to the races we go here. And check your emails. We've located the chat room to a new server, so check your emails for how to get into that new chat room. Any questions, shoot me an email or hit me up in the chat room, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Good night.